Welcome to Inside Out. Today I want to talk about goals. The second habit in Stephen Covey's 7 Habits of Highly Effective People is begin with the end in mind, which is basically a reflection on goals and goal setting. And this is one of the first principles of personal leadership, right? It's important to be able to lead ourselves. That's one of the things that he's trying to get across to us. In this, we have to work on our self-mastery, that I am the owner of my own actions. And there's a lot of times when we're going to be put into positions of leadership. It might be as simple as an afternoon with friends that we're called upon to organize. But there's going to be moments when others are looking to us to see where we should go, what we should do. And it's important for us to know as well, what we're seeking in life. What are you working on? What is it that's important to you? We all are at risk of an unfulfilled life, a life where you get to the end and you're just like, what have I done? And that is a tragedy, and that's something I don't want for any of you. Setting goals gives a sense of accomplishment. It is the experience of frequent positive emotions, but not in negative emotions, relate to broadened cognitive, that is, problem solving and behavioral coping strategies. Getting into a habit of goal setting prepares for positive emotions that will reinforce the good habits that are happening. Okay, so within this idea of begin with the end in mind, we can look at all things are created twice. And this is where Covey talks about 2 different aspects, which is leadership and management. And this, I think, is something that's very helpful. Our goals have to exist before we create them, right? So to exist in the mind is something that happens before it exists in reality. You can think of a carpenter, first he imagines the chair that he's going to build, and then he works with the wood and the nails and everything, and he makes the chair. But it exists first in the mind and then in reality. And these 2 creations, when we're talking about leadership, well, the first creation is that leadership, knowing the goals, setting the goals. And we can say that this second habit, beginning with the end in mind, was precisely about setting goals. And then later, the third habit will help us in execution. We are able to remake ourselves in our own image. And this is something that can give us a lot of hope, because we've all had moments where we've kind of fallen behind, where things aren't working as well as we want to. But then, with this, we're able to start again and really have a new beginning and be different and be more powerful and engaging in the reality around us. Within this habit of beginning with the end in mind, we also have the idea of 2 creations of leadership and management. And leadership is that goal setting, that moment of finding out where is it that I want to go. And then later, the management is going to be, how do I get there? Management is much more bottom line focused, whereas leadership is, having that general vision, being able to see the panorama and know what are the big goals that I want to have in my life. And then later I'll figure out, how to put in the necessary steps in order to get there, which is something we'll talk about when we arrive to habit number 3. So looking at management and leadership and management, we see these 2 aspects that help us to grow in personal leadership and then also in personal management, which is something that's so important if we're going to be effective in our lives.